You don't remember being born. Nobody remembers being born. But most people are told the story later. Your mother smiled when she held you. Your father cried. There was a hospital room, clean sheets, a nurse who checked your vitals. You get pictures, dates, a birth certificate that proves you existed before you could remember existing. You get none of that. You are born in a place that doesn't acknowledge birth as a beginning. It acknowledges birth as inventory. One more body, one more mouth, one more future worker in a system that doesn't care if you survive childhood, only that you're useful before you die. Your mother's water breaks during her work shift. She's in the fields or maybe the factory. It doesn't matter which. What matters is she can't stop working. Stopping means punishment. She keeps moving until the contractions are too close, too strong, and then she collapses. Someone shouts for a guard, not because they care, because a woman giving birth in the dirt creates a problem the guards have to document. They carry her to a building that might have been a clinic once. There's no doctor. There's a woman who's delivered babies before, mostly by watching other women die during the process. Your mother screams because pain is the only language left when everything else has been taken. She has 30 minutes before she's expected back at work. This is your welcome to the world. The first year is a math problem. Your mother produces milk, but not enough because she's starving. The rations are calculated to keep adults alive enough to work, not to support a pregnancy, and definitely not to support breastfeeding. You're hungry from the moment you're born. Hunger isn't something that happens to you occasionally. Hunger is what you are. The other infants in the barracks cry constantly, high-pitched, desperate wailing that eventually fades to weak whimpering as their bodies conserve energy. Some stop crying altogether. Those ones don't last long. Your mother tries to keep you alive with whatever she can find. She chews her bread ration into paste and pushes it into your mouth with her finger. She steals scraps from the communal pot when the guards aren't looking. She trades her socks for half a potato from another prisoner. Her feet freeze during winter work duty. She loses 3 toes to frostbite, but you survive another month. This is what love looks like here. Amputation in exchange for temporary survival. The barracks are a long wooden structure with sleeping platforms stacked 3 high. Your mother sleeps on the middle platform with you pressed against her body for warmth. At night, the building sounds like a hospital ward in a war zone. Coughing, moaning, crying, the wet sound of someone vomiting into a bucket they're too weak to empty. The smell is ammonia, sweat, rotting wood, and something else you'll later understand is the smell of bodies eating themselves from the inside. You sleep through it because you don't know anything different. This is the only world you have. You learn to walk late, 14 months. Your legs are too weak from malnutrition to support your weight earlier. When you finally take your first steps, your mother cries. Not from joy, from relief that you'll be able to move yourself soon, because carrying you during her work shifts was killing her. Walking means you're one step closer to not being a complete burden. In this place, that's a milestone. Language comes slowly. Your mother talks to you, but not much. She's too tired. Words cost energy. The first word you learn isn't mama or hungry. It's quiet. She hisses it at you a dozen times a day. When the guards walk by, quiet. When someone is being beaten, quiet. When you wake up crying at night, quiet. You learn that sound brings danger. You learn to be silent before you learn to speak. The other children are your first community. There are maybe 20 kids under the age of 10 in your section. You don't play the way children outside play. There are no toys, no games, no laughter. You dig in the dirt looking for insects to eat. You practice being invisible, crouching in corners during inspections, learning to make your body small. You watch each other to learn what gets punished. The education happens fast. Survival depends on it. The winter you turn 4, you get sick. A fever that makes your skin burn and your head feel like it's splitting open. Your mother begs for medicine. There isn't any. The camp doctor, if you can call him that, looks at you for 5 seconds and walks away. You're not important enough to waste resources on. You either survive or you don't. Your mother holds you for 3 days straight, missing work, which means missing rations, which means she's starving herself to stay with you. On the 4th day, your fever breaks. You survive. She loses 8 kilograms. Her hair starts falling out in clumps, but you're alive. The math continues. You're 5 when you're assigned your first job. It's not called a job. It's called contributing to the collective. You carry water. There's a well about 400 meters from the barracks. You carry a bucket that's too heavy when it's full, so you fill it halfway. You make 20 trips a day. The water sloshes onto your clothes and freezes into sheets of ice against your skin. You learn not to cry about it. Crying doesn't make the work stop. It just makes the guards notice you. School exists, technically. A room with a dirt floor and a woman who teaches you the basics. Reading, writing, arithmetic, but mostly ideology. You learn about the leader. how he's a god in human form, how the camp exists to purify sinners, how your family committed crimes so terrible that 3 generations must be punished. You don't know what your family did. Your mother won't tell you. It doesn't matter. You're here. The crime is irrelevant. The punishment is eternal. The teacher is a prisoner too. She's old, maybe 60, though it's hard to tell. Everyone here looks older than they are. She teaches with a stick in her hand. Education is delivered through pain. You learn fast. The food is a constant negotiation with death. Breakfast is a watery corn gruel. Lunch is a small portion of rice mixed with grass to bulk it out. Dinner is soup, made from whatever vegetables are too rotten for the guards to eat. The portions are calculated. Enough to keep you alive, not enough to give you energy. You are always hungry. Hunger stops being a feeling and becomes a state of existence. You think about food the way other children think about play. You fantasize about stealing an extra ladle of soup. You plan elaborate heists to sneak into the storage area. You never do it because the punishment for stealing food is death. But you think about it every single day. You learn to eat things people outside wouldn't consider food. One summer you find a bird's nest with 3 eggs. You eat them immediately, shells and all. You vomit an hour later, but it was worth it. Protein is protein. Your body doesn't care about salmonella when it's eating itself. You're 7 when you start working in the fields. Real work, adult work. You're assigned to a planting crew. The field stretches for kilometers. Your job is to dig holes, drop seeds, cover them, move to the next spot. You do this for 10 hours a day. You don't complain. Complaining is weakness. Weakness is punished. You dig, you plant, you move. The only thoughts you allow yourself are the mechanical ones. Dig, plant, cover, move, dig, plant, cover, move. Thinking about anything else will break you. The guards are a constant presence. They don't see you as a child. They see you as a small worker, a potential problem, a thing to be controlled. Some guards are casually cruel. Others are worse. They enjoy it. You learn to read them. The ones who smile before they hurt you are the most dangerous. You avoid eye contact, stay out of range, make yourself invisible. It works most of the time. The concept of time is strange here. Days blur into weeks, into months, into years. You don't have a calendar. You don't have birthdays. Seasons are the only markers. Winter is suffering. Spring is less suffering. Summer is work. Fall is preparing for winter suffering again. You know you're getting older because your body changes. You grow taller, but not as tall as children outside. Malnutrition stunts growth. You're 8 years old, but you look 5. Your teeth are loose from scurvy. Your bones ache from deficiencies you don't have names for. You are a child's mind in a body that's already breaking down. The relationships you form are complicated. You have friends, sort of. Children you work with, eat near, sleep close to. But friendship is dangerous. Your friend might inform on you to get extra rations. You might inform on them to avoid punishment. Trust is a luxury you can't afford. You share space, you share work, but you don't share secrets. There are no secrets worth dying for, and everything here can kill you. You're 9 when your mother gets sick, really sick. Not a fever that breaks, something deeper. She coughs blood. She can't eat. She's still forced to work. She collapses in the field. They carry her to the barracks and leave her there. No medicine, no treatment, no doctor. She has 3 days. You sit with her. You hold her hand. It's the first time you've touched her with tenderness since you were small. She looks at you and tries to speak. Her voice is a whisper. You lean close. "I'm sorry," she says. You tell her it's okay. She closes her eyes. The next morning, she's gone. They take her body before breakfast. You're assigned a new bunk. Life continues. The machine doesn't stop for grief. Being an orphan in the camp is worse. Children with parents have someone looking out for them, sharing rations, teaching them how to survive. Orphans have nothing. You're reassigned to a children's dormitory. It's a building with 40 kids and one adult overseer who doesn't care if you live or die. The strong kids take food from the weak kids. You're not strong, but you're smart. You learn to hide your rations. You learn to wake up before everyone else to get the first ladle of soup, which has more solid bits. You learn to position yourself near the overseer during fights, so it looks like you're not involved. You survive, but every day costs something. You're 10 when you're moved to the mine. Not inside it yet, you're too small, but you work at the entrance, sorting rocks, loading carts, breathing dust that coats your lungs and turns your spit black. The adult workers are skeletal. They move like machines running on fumes. Some of them have been doing this for 20 years. You look at them and see your future. There's no escape. There's no outside. There's only this. Forever, until your body gives out and you're carried away like your mother was. You're 11 when you realize that some people are born outside. You knew it intellectually, but it suddenly becomes real. One of the new prisoners, a girl about your age, talks about school. Real school, with books and playgrounds and friends. She talks about television, movies, food that comes in packages. You think she's lying. She's not. She's describing normal life, the life you never had, the life you'll never have. You hate her for it, not because she's mean, because her existence is proof that the world outside has things you can't even imagine. And you're trapped here. You will always be trapped here. The winters are the worst. The temperature drops below freezing and stays there for months. The barracks have no heat. You sleep in piles for warmth, bodies pressed together, breathing each other's air. The cold is so intense that it burns. Work doesn't stop. You still carry water even when the well freezes and you have to break the ice with a rock. You still work the fields, even when the ground is too frozen to dig. You're 12 when you're told the truth about why you're here. Not officially. The guards don't tell you. Another prisoner does. Your grandfather was a political officer who said something wrong. Or maybe he was accused of saying something wrong. It doesn't matter which. The state disappeared him, your grandmother, your parents, and you were born here as punishment for his crime. 3 generations. That's the law. Your grandfather's sin is your sin. You've been paying for something you didn't do, something that happened before you were born. This is your legacy. Inherited guilt in a place that doesn't believe in innocence. The realization breaks something in you. You're not here because you did something wrong. You're here because existence is your crime. There is no rehabilitation, no sentence to serve, no possibility of release. You will die here. Everyone born here dies here. The camp is a graveyard with a work schedule. You're not a prisoner. You're a corpse that's still moving. The days continue. The years continue. You are 12 years old. You've been alive for 12 years. And you've never had a birthday cake, never owned a toy, never played a game, never laughed without fear, never felt safe, never been a child. You've been a worker, a number, a thing the state uses and discards. You are broken in ways you don't have words for. You are a child only in age. In every other way, you're something else. Something the world outside doesn't have a word for. You wonder sometimes if you're still a person. People on the outside have choices, futures, identities. You have none of that. You're a function in a system. The system feeds you barely enough to function and extracts labor until you break. Then it discards you. You're not alive in any meaningful sense. You're animated. There's a difference. Alive means possibility. Animated means motion without purpose. You move, work, exist, but you're not living. You've never lived.